Hey everyone, this is Eddie Wilson with the Think Realty podcast. As you can see, I'm not Avi Golhar, who is our normal host, but I am the founder and CEO of Think Realty, and I get to periodically jump on and interview some great guests. And so today we've got a great guest that I'm excited about bringing to you. As always, just trying to make sure that we provide value for real estate investors. But before I get to the guest, I want to say a quick thank you to our podcast sponsor, which is Real Property Management. Thank you so much to Real Property Management, which is one of the largest residential property managers franchises in North America. They manage tens of thousands of properties for individuals, investors, and institutions throughout the country. Learn more at realpropertymanagement.com. That's realpropertymanagement.com. Or you can call them at 888-806-7088. That's 888-806-7088. If you're in the market for a property manager, definitely reach out to them and also support them because they support us. Thank you so much to them. So today we've got a great guest, and I know it'll bring a lot of value to your real estate business as we talk about building real estate businesses. Today we've got Don Wenner, who is the founder and owner of Direct Lending Partners. Don, if you're there, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, very cool. I appreciate you taking your time out today to spend a little bit of time with us. Obviously, to all of our guests and our viewers, most of them are already in a real estate business. I would say, a good percentage of them are just getting started in real estate, and then you got a lot of them that are actively pursuing building a real estate business full time. So if you don't mind, just kind of 30,000 foot view, tell us what you do and the service that you provide to real estate investors, and then we'll dive down in just a little bit deeper.
Awesome. That sounds great. So as you said, I'm the founder and CEO of Direct Lending Partners, but I'm also the founder and CEO of a broader set of companies, DLP Real Estate Capital. And so we're an organization of 350 team members. We provide real estate solutions is what we focus on doing. We have a family of businesses, including DLP Realty, DLP Real Estate Management, DLP Capital Partners, Bright Homes, which is the shirt you see me wearing here today, Direct Lending Partners, and all of our companies are focused on providing real estate solutions. We own about 10,000 homes and apartments right now in our portfolio, about $750 million. And then we're actively providing capital, both debt and equity, to real estate operators, single-family operators, multifamily operators, home builders. And in addition to providing them with capital, we really focus on providing them with solutions, providing them with systems, and a path to really help scale their businesses.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. So, I understand a little bit about DLP, but tell me, how did you get started? I mean, so I think we're probably similar in spirit. I mean, I've got a lot of businesses and serial entrepreneur. It sounds like you are as well. So tell me, how did you get started? Why are you so broad today? How did it happen? How did it evolve? Just give us a little bit of your history and story.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got into real estate sort of by mistake, like I think most of us did. But I was a college student going to Drexel, studying finance, thought I was going to become a financial advisor from the 8th grade on. And while I was in college, I waited tables on weekends, and a guy kept asking me to come work for him who was in an ADT security business. And he convinced me I'd make $2,000 a week as a 19-year-old coming to work for him, which sounded pretty good. So I went to work for him. First 2 weeks, I made $5,238, and I was off and running. I was making $5,000 to $8,000 every paycheck, making really good money. And the guy who owned that company, his name was Nathan Robinson, also happened to be in real estate. And this was 2005 going into 2006, and everybody was in real estate at that time. So he convinced me that if I could sell alarm systems, literally knocking on doors, which is what I did all day, I could sell real estate. So I was still a college student, but I went and got my real estate license and started selling real estate, offering the guaranteed sale program, your home sold guarantee or we'll buy it. Started helping investors as well. And that led to us starting to flip some homes. That led to us building a construction company. That led to us at the bottom of the market building a rental portfolio and then building property management, which led to us needing capital and raising lots of capital into private discretionary investment funds, led to us lending capital to others and on from there. So just started being young, not knowing any better, being hungry to grow and learn, and seeing just the wealth of opportunities in real estate.
Awesome. We'll get to how you can help our viewer, but just conversationally, I've got 20 or so businesses, and my life is spent trying to parse down my time and stay on top of every single one of them. How do you do it? I mean, is there a methodology? I mean, that's a lot. I mean, what you just described is a big undertaking. So how do you stay on top of it?
Yeah, that's the name of the game. I'm sure you get that question quite a bit yourself. So there's no I'm not gonna tell you there's a path other than starting with discipline, and so it's hard. It takes a lot of discipline to manage a lot of different businesses at the same time, and there's nothing that's going to replace the hard work and discipline, which is the foundation. But from there, then that's the maybe that's the barrier of entry per se for most. But then from there, what we found to work for us is we can have multiple businesses doing different things and at different sizes, at different growth rates, at different levels of maturity, different geographic regions, et cetera, and manage them all concurrently if they're all running the same playbook.
Sure.
So we make sure all of our businesses, they all share the same purpose. They all have the same core values. They all serve essentially the same clients or a range of clients. And then they all run the same playbook in terms of how they set priorities, how they execute, how they run meetings, how they run operations, how they run checklists. We try to have as much as possible operating the same technologies. And then maybe most importantly in that, the type of people we hire and how we go about finding talent, how we go about hiring talent, retaining talent, and developing talent. And then that's really the center of things. So our way we've been able to really do it is we've been able to attract great people. We hire, based on personality. We hire based on attitude, grit, what we call driven for greatness, humble confidence. And then we focus heavily on building leaders. We have a mantra of leaders made here. Mm-hmm. So when you have a system to follow and you bring in great people who fit the culture, who want to grow and lead and take ownership and control, and allow myself and our other executives, to quote unquote delegate and elevate as we continue to expand, has been the center of our ability to run multiple businesses concurrently.
That's awesome. If you're watching today and you're building a real estate investment, again, we've got Don Wenner, who has founded multiple businesses here, and he's giving you not just how his business can help you as a real estate investor, but he's giving you great advice on scaling your business. And so Don, one more quick question in that same vein. How do you know oftentimes where to put your effort and energy as you're scaling your businesses? You talked about various businesses at different levels. Do you kind of have a model for, is it economics? Is it capital driven? How do you know which business you're going to scale at what level and where to put emphasis and focus on?
Yeah, that's a great question. And maybe to start with, what I'd say is, even though we run a lot of businesses, we didn't, start off, running all these businesses at the exact same time, of course. And we really focused on not launching a new business until the point that we have all of our current businesses running effectively, running efficiently, generating profits before we set out and add another business, another focus to the equation. So I'd say, in the beginning, it's making sure you stay really focused on one business and figure out what are the couple activities within that one business that drive revenue, that drive results, and staying laser focused there. And then once you're able to do that, then you can go and launch another business. But in terms of how much resources we put forth in each business and how we determine that, I'd say there's kind of two parts to it. Number one is every year we go through a process of laying out a very, very detailed strategy. We use a tool we call and develop called the Compass, and we lay out clearly what is our organization going to look like, or what are the big numbers we're going to achieve. Usually we're at 5 to 7 years out. We set a target. So right now we have a 2025 target. Then we set out what are we aiming to be 3 years from now. So we set a 3-year aim, and we lay out how our business is going to look 3 years from now. Then we lay out our 1-year bullseye, where we say, all right, here are the things that we're going to accomplish this year, and we set those goals this year by looking back on exactly where we stand now. And I think that's sometimes where people miss the mark. Is it's hard to grow and to scale. And I hear too often investors says, hey, I'm flipping 10 homes a year right now, or 20 homes a year. Next year, I'm going to do 200. You're probably not going to do that, or you're not going to do so profitably, go from 20 to 200 in 1 year. Maybe you can go from 20 to 50, but really laying out a real plan that's realistic to get there from where I stand today. And then, way to make sure it's realistic is then we break it down to, all right, what do we need to do in the next quarter? What does our next quarter look like? What's our 90-day world? And then really figure out what are the daily and weekly habits and disciplines that need to be in place to drive those kind of results, because you're not going to drive different results or do more sales or grow more revenue if you're doing the exact same things you did the previous year, obviously. But sometimes we can lose sight of that. And then the other big part of how we think about growth and how we put forth resources is we follow a methodology here that's really at the center of our organization, at the center of how we operate, which we took from Jim Collins, which is the 20-mile march. And 20-mile march is Jim Collins's, in his great book, which is my favorite of his books, Great by Choice, where he set out to determine if you wanted to choose to be great, what discipline, what do you need to put in place? What are all the great companies that he studied in good to great have in common? That if you put this in place in your business, you could choose to grow. And that discipline is the 20-mile march. And that's the consistency in how you drive results, making sure you're controlling your activities regardless of all the noise and everything that's going around you, regardless of where we're at in the real estate cycle, regardless of what your competition is doing, regardless of what's going on with politics, making sure that you're controlling your activities that drive results. And by really focusing on the activities every day at the employee or team level basis or level, you're able to get really repeatable results. And really for us, what we focus on is 20 to 40% growth each year. So we set our targets to help us get there. And you don't grow 20 or 40% really a year. You really grow, a couple percent every month, and you grow, a 1/4% every week. And so it's making sure we're putting in the right disciplines that drive those results. And for us, how that's translated into results is we've grown by at least 70% in our revenue every year for 13 years.
That's awesome.
Because we keep that really disciplined activities within the organization at the center of how we think, how we behave, how we set goals,
Sure.
And how we go about achieving our goals.
That's awesome. I love that, Don. I hear a lot of people in our space talk a lot about the traction book and kind of implementing systems, but I love the fact that I hear a lot of guys talk about Great by Choice or How the Mighty Fall, but my favorite Collins book is Great by Choice as well, and it's because he sets the philosophy before he sets the systems, and so to me, I think you're spot on. And so for the real estate investor out there, who's maybe considering a systemology, like a traction or something like that, getting that Great by Choice ahead of it to understand your philosophy and setting your philosophy in stone long before you ever put your practice in place, is really great advice. Thank you for that. So, obviously you've given a lot of good tips and tricks here specifically for real estate investors building a business. But now why don't you step into how can you and your business help their business scale? Because I know that part of your business model is not just you building your own empire, but also helping other real estate investors get to the place where they want to go as well. And so if you don't mind, just take a few minutes and talk about how your business can supplement, help, push these real estate investors to their next level.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. And real quick comment before I answer that question specifically, speaking of Jim Collins, and I don't get any revenue off of endorsing Jim Collins. I just think he's amazing. If you haven't read his newest book, Turning the Flywheel, it's amazing. It's a little monogram. Good. It's amazing.
It is good.
So you mentioned the book Traction. Gino Wickman, I consider a good friend, and we went and implemented EOS 4 or 5 years ago, probably 6 years ago now, into our business, and that became part of our foundation. And then we really built upon that in a lot of ways, taking from the Jim Collins of the world, taking from the John Maxwell's of the world, the Vern Harnishes of the world, the Sean Coveys of the world, Stephen Coveys of the world, 4 disciplines of execution type concepts. And we've built out, our operating system over the years. And we call our operating system the elite execution system. And got four quadrants to it. At the center of it, it's what Jim Collins talks about: discipline, discipline thought, discipline action, discipline people. And for us, we put that discipline into four quadrants: strategy, operations, people, and acceleration. And one of the pieces that we see a lot of kind of operational systems forget about is that little detail of acceleration, sales and marketing. So we really think that that's really important piece to the puzzle and how you think about things, because sales and marketing needs to be treated just like operations. It's about having a plan that you're executing on each day. It's really about execution. Most people who aren't generating enough deals, aren't raising enough capital, are struggling. It's because they don't really have a replicatable system to generate opportunities or to manage those opportunities once they come in. So for us, one of our fastest growing side of our business is direct lending partners, providing capital to real estate investors, and we provide both debt and equity to real estate investors. So as we've been doing that and doing that for quite some time, we've really realized that most operators who struggle, it's not that they bought a bad deal. It's not that they didn't understand construction. It's not that they didn't understand property management. It's not, anything related to their knowledge per se or the asset in most cases. It's really that they struggled with the internal operations of their business. They struggled that they were growing and they tried to hire people and they hired the wrong people and they messed things up, whether that be an internal hire or hired the wrong contractor. They struggled to stay on top of multiple projects at the same time. They struggled to stay on top of their cash flow management. They struggle with their internal operations. And with us focusing on our growth, so right now, as I mentioned earlier, we have 350 employees, or we call it team members. We're going to be 10 times our size in terms of our assets and our revenue in the next few years. But we don't want to be 10 times our size in terms of our number of people. We're not looking to be a 3,500 person company when we're $10 billion in assets here in the next few years. So how we look at the way we're going to grow is through partnerships with great operators. And what we want to do with great operators is provide them, certainly with the capital, provide them with debt and equity and capital, but more so provide them with the system and the knowledge and resources to scale their growth. We're really focused on helping entrepreneurs scale high growth and high profit businesses, which I think sometimes gets lost with all the venture capital backed business, especially all the sexy companies that you hear on Inman and so forth, that are these venture backed organizations that don't make any money. To me, that's not the type of business I want to run, and I don't think that's the type of business most real estate investors want to run. You want high growth and high profit. So we really focus on helping instill and drive and implement those types of disciplines within the group, the investors that we partner with and we provide capital to. So we've been holding events we call elite real estate masterminds and workshops, where we spend 3 days. Certainly we talk about real estate and raising capital and sourcing deals and masterminding and sharing with a lot of really, really great operators. But we focus the most on execution and operations within our businesses, scaling, hiring, implementing how we run meetings, how we set priorities, how we execute and run our day-to-day businesses. And I just finished a couple weeks ago writing our first book, which is called Building an Elite Organization, which is our operating system, our elite execution system, which is what we've been training on for the last number of years, and what we run, how we run all of our businesses. And really excited to roll that out in the next couple months. And be able to provide that to the investors and operators that we partner with each day.
That's awesome, man. I mean, you are speaking my language. I got to get you. We've got a mastermind called our President Circle. I got to get you out there to speak to our group, man. They would eat this stuff up. Yeah, there's just so few people in our space talking about what you're talking about. And living it, right? I mean, and building a business off of it. So it's like there's a lot of theorists out there that are providing you theory. There's a lot of guys that are systems guys, and they can teach you systems. But somebody who's actually building their business, then providing the knowledge based off of the executional path is important.
I got to tell you a funny quick story. So that's exactly how I talk a lot about the book. This is not theoretical. There's nothing in what I teach when we talk about that's based on theory or concept. And how we provide the tools is we don't even, we take it all the way to the granular. Here's the exact tool, the exact document that we use right now that you can just put into play. Right. You don't have to kind of figure out all the way down to the granular level. So as I was finishing, the day I finished writing the book, I had a friend of mine reach out to me. He says, "Hey, can you jump on tomorrow and on a webinar, on a Zoom webinar with me to talk to some people here at Harvard?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I jump on a webinar like this, or a Zoom meeting like this, and I'm sitting there talking to 4 Harvard professors and 3 MIT professors, and I jump on the meeting a little bit early to be ready to go, and they're having some other discussions, and they're having all these, really intelligent theoretical discussions. And then I get on and I have a little pitch put together to go over the program. And, the first slide is about how nothing about this is theory.
Sure.
And it's all about, application. I'm talking to the group of the most theoretical people
Sure.
I could come by. So they still saw the value in it, but it wasn't exactly the right audience for
Right.
What we do, because it's all about execution, all about implementation. A lot of people with great ideas. It's all about being able to execute on them.
And that's what I love about what you're talking about, is and why somebody like our group that gets together 4 times a year would eat it up, is because these things can be put into place right now. Like these are the problems they have, in real time, and so that's awesome. Well, man, I mean, as soon as you get that book out, let us know. I'd love to help promote it and push it out to the Think Realty group. I mean, that is so needed in our space. So, we're kind of drawing close on time here, but, obviously I want to make sure that the real estate investors that are watching the show can understand how to connect with you and understand how you will partner with them. I think you provided a good understanding of that. Tell them how to get a hold of you, how to find all that information, how to engage with you so that they can take the next steps with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my email address is don@DLP for real estate, re.com, don@DLPre.com. Feel free to shoot me an email. Our company websites, the parent company is DLPre.com. Direct Lending Partners website is directlendingpartners.com. But you can easily find me. Just type in Don Wenner on Google. You'll find all of our companies and all different ways to get in touch with me. And then, if you're watching this and you are, somebody already, running a business, already has, doing $1 million, $2 million, $5, $20, $100 million in revenue, at some level of executing this is, some of these comments on scaling a business are resonating. We are holding an event in St. Augustine, which is where I reside most of the year, St. Augustine, Florida, oldest city in America. First week of November 8th to the 10th. So you can go to dlpelite.com, and check out the event that we have coming up. And but if it resonates what we're talking about, that's what we'll be talking about the whole weekend. Spend some time with myself and a lot of great business leaders. Love to chat with you about the opportunity to come join us.
That's awesome. I mean, what a great event. I mean, if you are a real estate investor trying to scale your business, this sounds like a perfect event. And by the way, St. Augustine, an amazing city too. So really cool place to have an event and to go visit. So very cool. Well, thank you so much, Don, for taking time with us today. I really appreciate it. I love the value that you're providing to real estate investors. It's our goal to try to elevate this industry, and certainly what you're doing will drive this industry to new levels. And when you've got such massive capital and interest from Wall Street and others coming into our marketplace over the past few years, how much more these real estate investors need to elevate their game and be prepared to be legitimate operators and business owners. And so I really appreciate the value you're providing, both on the support side, but also leading them and showing ways to build your organization operationally and philosophically. I am going to jump in and just say one more quick thank you to Norada Real Estate Investments. They're your premier source for cash flow investment properties. Go visit my buddy Marco Santarelli at turnkeyrealestateinvestments.com, turnkeyrealestateinvestments.com. Thank you so much, Marco, for supporting the Think Realty podcast. If you are listening today, watching today, if you've downloaded this podcast, I would really encourage you to go follow Don. I mean, I'm very impressed. This is really the first time that I'm getting a bird's eye view at what he's doing in the organization he's building. And boy, I'm impressed and I'm so excited. I know that having multiple businesses myself, hundreds of employees, this is where my focus has to be as an organizational leader. I can provide all the vision I want, but if I can't take that vision all the way down to execution for the people in my organization, then it's just a dream. It's just a pipe dream. And so, boy, what an awesome opportunity for you to go to an event, to get his book, to follow him. I would definitely recommend this organization and see if they can help you. So thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate it. Make sure you join in on the conversation by joining us on our social media platforms. And we'd love to hear your feedback, questions, thoughts, ideas for guests, and we'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching.